Hi viewers, today we are at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington D.C. And guess what they're talking about? It's the upcoming Nigerian election 2015. The two major parties are represented here today, the PDP as well as the APC. On the high table are people like Dr. Doyin Okupe as well as Lai Mohammed. Now let's go in and join the debate.
So we haven't gotten quite a sense of where you think these elections stand, these election preparations stand right now.
The major part of the preparations that need to be done will be done by INEC. As for us, the APC is a very new party. They have problems with the manifesto, world election. We don't have that kind of problem. This is an established party, deeply rooted, the only party that you find anywhere and everywhere in Nigeria. Well, I'm not coming here to lie to you. This is the truth. Okay. We don't have that kind of problem.
Okay, thank you. As you said, we're not going to cast aspersions.
Correct, thank you.
I would like to get back to some of the specifics, particularly in the government's role in this. Mr. Mohammed, or Senator, can you explain how your party is going to select the best possible candidates to represent you at the elections? How will you ensure that the party primary process is credible, transparent, and democratic?
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying that the world is one single humanity, and whatever affects the people of Nigeria affects the rest of the world. Nigeria, whatever happens in Nigeria, will affect you as it will affect Nigerians. So let me just say that we need to discuss frankly here today so that the rest of the world will not see Nigeria and how to come to our assistance. In terms of how we are preparing to ensure that the credible candidates do emerge. As he said, some months ago, we carried out registration of our party members. And it was very credible, very clear and open, and everybody queued and were registered into our party. And we have this data is available on our website everywhere, people can access it. We are having our congresses now. By May, we are going to have our national congress, where we are going to elect our leaders. Though we have now our interim leaders. And when the time comes, people are going to be called to signify their interest in contesting, for the president, vice president, governors, and all of that. And again, we are going to invite the rest of the world to come and observe what we are going to do. We are going to ensure that, whoever is interested will address the Congress of our party. They will address the people of our country. They will address the rest of the world. Make their ideology known, make their programs known, and they are going to be asked questions. We don't do politics of bigmanism in our party. People are going to be subjected to questioning. And that was why I, as a senator, had to propose a bill that we set up a debate commission in our country so that anybody contesting for any public office must be made to go through public debates with his opponents. Because in the past, what we have had is that people are called to come and debate running into election and they will run away, only for them to come and debate themselves. Have you ever had where a candidate debates against himself? That has happened in Nigeria. Or call a popular musician to come and ask him questions on national television. And that this will tend not to happen. And we are going to call on the rest of the world. For us to have credible election in Nigeria, you must ask whoever is going to rule us to be ready to subject himself to be questioned by the people of the country. We are going to set that example in our party, and we expect that when the general election comes, people who are going to contest against our candidate must also be ready to debate our candidate.
How do you market this new GDP rebase for Nigeria?
The per capita income has to be low because of our very large population. We are the most populated country in Africa, 168 million. All right, so it's going, definitely it's just like China. China is the second largest economy in the world, but because China and India is the fourth largest economy in the world, and because of the large population, the per capita income is lower than even those economies that are not comparative.
So what does the new GDP mean to common people if the per capita income will still be low?
What it means is that it's going to help us to increase the per capita income because foreign investors, global investors are looking for where there's big business. What that announcement has done is to say that Nigeria is a big business ground and market for investors to come. And the more investors come, the more funds, foreign direct investment that we have, the more employment will be generated, the better our societies, will be, and the wealthier our people will be.
So you're saying the common people will eventually feel this, but when?
It's not going to be, even now, some of the actions of the government, activities of government, is already improving the lives of the common people. But like I said, we have a large population, so it's going to take time for these economic advantages to percolate, but with the multiple of activities and actions and events that will follow, when we have more foreign direct investment into the country, there'll be more manufacturing, more export, more agriculture, and services. This will improve the country.
I'm sorry, sir, you forgot to mention exactly how what the government is doing right now has been helping to improve the lives of the common people.
Yes. I mean, in last year alone, 1.6 million jobs were created. And, this year, between now...
Which areas, sir? Like which sector?
In agriculture, in oil and gas, in services. These are the things that led to the rebasing of the economy, because there are certain standposts that we have not considered in the last 24 years. Telecom, insurance, hotel services, Nollywood. These are things that, were never ever part and parcel of our economic
The 1.6 million job that you mentioned, sir, it's been circulating a lot, and a lot of young people like myself are still wondering why almost a million people will go for the job of 3,000 if 1.6 million jobs were created.
1.6 million, jobs is a drop in the ocean of what Nigeria requires. If you say that even a modest figure of 25% unemployment, of youth unemployment in Nigeria, the youth in Nigeria are not less than 50%. That's about 80 million people. Now, if you say 25% of that is a quarter of that, that's 20 million unemployed youths we have in Nigeria. So what is 1.6 million? So I get amazed when people say, oh, if you have created 1.6 million jobs, why are people still not having jobs? We have a hell lot of people who need jobs. All right, so the efforts of government is making the efforts of government look minuscule, as if it's not enough. It is, as if nothing is being done. Something is being done, but it's not enough. But it is this type of market that is being created now. This type of environment that is being created now that will drive in further investment to Nigeria. And there's no country in the world, mark my words, there's no country in the world that can develop relying solely on its own internally generated resources. It's impossible. There's a lot of idle cash abroad, and we need to drive them to Nigeria. This announcement is going to drive both official and unofficial investors into the country.
Quickly, sir, I'm wondering, you said on Twitter very recently when the World Bank said there are a lot of poor people in Nigeria. You said that you've never been poor, you've never known poverty, and a lot of Nigerians are not sure if you understand the fact that all they've known in their lives, so many Nigerians, is poverty. Can you explain what you were trying to say?
You cannot quote me out of question. You can't quote me out of context. The gentleman, who I responded on Twitter said, Dr. Okupe, what is your background? Do you come from a privileged family? And I spoke the truth. Yes, it's true. My father owned a bank even before independence. So it is not an offense, but it is not, even if one does not have a privileged background, does not stop you, from becoming great. America was not made by people with privileged backgrounds. Bill Gates, his father was not a billionaire. It is what you make out of your life that is important.
It's still true that there are a lot of poor people in Nigeria.
Yes, there are. There are a lot of poor people in America itself. I've seen people who sleep who have no homes here. I was in Texas. I was in Florida. I've seen people who sleep on the road in the United States of America. Excuse me.
Yeah, but the fact that a lot of rich people in Nigeria keeps getting rich, while a lot of poor people are not making a lot of money.
That is the distortion in the system. And that's what government is working. Social inequality. The way to bring, technology itself is, even without government effort, technology is going to bridge social inequality. Because you see, if I have intellectual property, you can't stop me from being wealthy.
So I know you said you were saying the truth, sir, but to be honest, a lot of Nigerians felt like maybe you were boasting when you said all you've known is that you've never known poverty.
No, I wasn't boasting. The guy asked me a question, and I directly answered him honestly and sincerely.
Okay, so how are we sure that this coming election will not be rigged? I know you talked
The
about
election was, the election in 2011 was never rigged.
I didn't
So
say it was.
yeah, so
But I said,
there's
how
no.
are we sure the
So
2015
even using
will
that
not?
as a precedent, you will agree that, with the commitment of this president, we will not interfere with this election. We will work hard for it, and we will accept the results.
And my
Thank
last
you.
question, sir: why should young people believe in PDP anymore?
What else can they believe in? People who have never run government before, people who are not ready for government, who are only desperate. They have no policy, they have nothing. Look, it is better for young people to stick with the institutions, a party that really is entrenched, that can help them. And look, whether you like it or not, we've got a new kid on the block, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who has been running these affairs for the last 3 years, and he has started fantastic, and commendable reforms. It is better to allow him, so that the full benefit of the reforms can be something that young Nigerians.
A lot of people disagree with what you said now.
People are bound to disagree with me.
President Jonathan is doing well.
No, people are bound to disagree, but the facts are facts.
And what are the facts,
over 2,000 kilometers of road have been.
Where?
Excuse me.
What about Lagos Ibadan Express Road?
Is it not under construction right now?
It's been for years.
No, it's not been for a year. It was concessioned by another government, but this government removed that concession and put up a new plan, and it's working right now.
When will it be completed?
It's a 48-month contract. It's 48 months.
What else has this administration done?
Excuse me. Rail system that had been moribund for 20 years, have been comatose, that had never ever worked. This administration has revitalized it. They have revitalized
We
Lagos
see
Kano.
the pictures of the rails, sir. They look like locomotives from 1950.
What does
Second-hand, third-hand brought from
it.
China.
We are not America.
Why can't we have brand new
You
trains?
cannot have brand new trains because the economy cannot support that. And besides that, we are using.
Why? I thought we are the largest economy in Africa. Why
we are the largest. We are the largest market. We are the largest economy. It does not mean that all the money is not going to be used to go and buy trains and coaches.
So where
Look, you've got the money is being spent on Nigeria and the Nigerian people. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. So we're just wondering if you think that the Muslim candidates, if you think it would work.
Look, let me tell you.
Okay.
The party is yet to have a convention. The party is yet to have, its guidelines, its primaries. How did you come about the Muslim ticket? You see, you are the first president to accuse us of lack of internal democracy. Have we done our congresses? Have we done our convention? So where did that come from? So people are flying a kite, and that's what it is.
So it's not happening.
Listen, it's not about whether it's happening or not happening. Does it make sense for a party that has not conducted its congress to have candidates?
All right. So when you have your candidates, it probably
Look,
won't be Muslim.
listen, our candidates will emerge through due process. And I can't tell you who will be our candidate or who will not be. This is exactly what we're discussing here. We said it will be transparent, it will be credible, just in the choice of our candidate, so wait for it.
And my last question, just an assessment of this present administration, sir?
Frankly speaking, our views are known on this administration, and we think that Nigerians are shortchanged by this administration, either in terms of security challenges, infrastructure, job creation, or economy. And we know we can do a better job, and that is why we unveiled our roadmap, and we've told everybody how we want to get there.
The media must be more scientific in reporting election results and must not speculate on results where no exit polls have been done. Role of international observers. International observers must deploy beyond the urban areas to countryside where elections are questionably being rigged by the party, by any party, as well as perceived opposition strongholds to observe elections. They must not be too quick to pronounce elections free and fair when all the details are not in. Role of the international community. International community must let the ruling government know that it is not just the outcome of an election, but the credibility of the entire process that determines a free, fair, and credible election.
I'm just wondering, sir, if you have any faith in how how INEC is going to conduct this coming election.
Yes, we will have faith if INEC would take into consideration these suggestions we've made. You see, the voters register is crucial. You see, it's not about who wins, it's about the process. I'm unhappy when people go to where they're supposed to vote with all enthusiasm and zeal, and they simply can't find their names on the register. Or when they are even denied access to voting areas. If we can get it right, there's no science about election. It's about logistics.
Okay, so, and lastly, sir, a lot of people are concerned about the fact that so many people in APC now, they were the same people that were in PDP, and they didn't really do well when they were in PDP. So why should we trust them now when they are in APC?
I think people have been very simplistic about this issue. A time will come in the history of a country when the leaders will have to make a directional change. This is what happened. You see, it's like what happened in Italy about 20 years ago, when what was called the historic compromise. When people believe could not work together, start working together. And when you come to think about it, most of these people who have come to join APC are first and foremost Nigerians. They are politicians. We've been in the same party before, but if for any reason a politician says that he's not happy with the political party and he crosses over, I don't think that is why it will not work. I don't think so. And don't forget that we already have a roadmap, a constitution, which is binding on all of us. So when they come, they must subscribe to the constitution of the party, to subscribe to the manifesto of the party.
So Nigerians should trust them now because they are in
We have
APC.
absolute trust in them. We do, and Nigerians should trust them.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
sir.
very much. Thank